Okay, sometimes work interferes with a perfectly good bourbon channel, but today we're stuck in a blizzard in Ohio and we're going to review Seelbach 15-year buff turkey.
Oven roasted buffalo turkey wings.
So, Seelbachs is an online seller of liquor. Basically, at a website, you buy liquor, certain states, you can have it delivered. Tennessee, not so much, but I have it delivered to Ohio, which is where I am right now, pretty much stuck in a snowstorm blizzard thing. Blizzard for a Tennessee, New Zealand guy, I'll tell you that. But yeah, this is 122.6 proof, 15 plus years old, Kentucky straight bourbon, 1,303 bottles. This is batch 2. So I had that distinct from Seelbachs. Good.
Many hours later.
So this bottle comes with a black wax top, has no pull tab or anything like that, but it chipped off pretty easily, and then has a synthetic cork, which is very tight. Able to get a glass from the local bar here in the hotel. So yeah, so what's the story behind this stuff? So they've called it buff turkey, buffalo turkey. Now, let's read this story. I'm reading this off a Reddit post on our bourbon. Seems to be the most detailed sort of one. So basically, the mash bill on this is 75-13-12, which is Wild Turkey's mash bill, pretty specific to them. So when people saw that, it was, we got sort of surprised. The gold foil, the cheesy gold foil, which is a very famous Wild Turkey bourbon from back in the day. So the story that this guy says is this was distilled for an unknown customer. The rumor that it was Duke Bourbon by Wild Turkey 15 plus years ago, that deal fell through. So there's even more to the story, that it wasn't actually distilled at Wild Turkey. It was distilled using the Wild Turkey mash bill, but at Buffalo Trace. Now, why was that done? There's a couple of different stories. One could be that they just didn't have the production capacity. The other one could be that they were doing renovations on their still. So so Buffalo Trace distilled it, Wild Turkey mash bill. So yeah, then they had this stuff, and it was obviously distilled by somebody else. You can probably imagine it doesn't really smell or taste too much like a Wild Turkey product, so they probably would have had to release it as something else if the Duke guys didn't want to buy it. So they sat on it, and they sat on it. 15 years later, 2024, they probably thought, this stuff's pretty damn good, we should sell it. So I've heard these barrels are not cheap, and the bottles are not cheap. The funny thing is, depending on who puts their label on it, can really depend on the cost of these things. I've seen them down to $1.99 for an Elkwood Reserve. This one from Seelbachs was $2.99. I've seen them up to like $700. But it's all NDA'd, so nobody's really saying where their stuff comes from. They're just saying it's 15-year Kentucky bourbon. I'm not going to say for a fact, but you've got to think that a lot of 15-year Kentucky bourbon that came out last year, 2024, was this buff turkey buff. It's really good. The nose is, it's really dark raisins. It smells old. It's got a sweet caramel, dark raisin type flavor on the nose. Smell, I should say. Cheers. Clink. Good mouthfeel. Got that slight bitter oak, but it's not bad. There's enough sweetness to keep that bitterness away, but nice tingly mouthfeel. That's good. It really isn't anything like any wild turkey that I've ever had, or Buffalo Trace. You know, it's just something a little bit different. Yeah, it's really nice. I would say that drinks every year of its 15 years. There's a lot of nice oak on that. Like I say, there is enough sweet oak to sort of to hold off that bitterness of the oak, but it's really good, and those dark fruits carry on through. So that's good. Like, is it a $300 bottle? It's tough these days. I can't say. I bought it, so I guess it is. But you'd probably want to be careful. Like, the Elkwood one was a higher proof. A few of my friends have tried it and they preferred the Elkwood versus the batch 1 of this, so it's probably a better deal, $100 cheaper. But then, like I say, this is definitely not the cheapest. This is not the most expensive one of these either, so it really depends on where you get it from and who marketed it. And just an interesting story, like, I really got this one because it popped up online. I realized I hadn't really tasted any of this buffalo turkey stuff, and I definitely didn't have a bottle, so I jumped on it, and I'm not upset. It's really good. Definitely something you can sip on. The third sip, it's even sweeter. A lot of that bitterness has gone away. Finish, nice Kentucky hug. Yeah, that's a good one. So something else they did was they entered the barrels at the Buffalo Turkey's standard of 125 proof. That's why a lot of this stuff is like, this one is 122 point, I think I said before, 122.6. Some of them are in the 135 plus, which you don't ever see from wild turkey, because the wild turkey's barrel entry proof is 115, and the higher it comes in is the higher it comes out. So this is a real mix-up, and it's just surprising. We wonder what else barrels are hiding out there that might be coming out. So maybe some Jack Beam. I don't think so. So anyway, this is Dave signing off from House Bourbon, stuck in a hotel in Ohio. Don't trust the weather in Ohio. I checked the weather. Okay, rain. I always get an SUV because it's when I come to Cleveland in winter, because I want 4-wheel drive. Avis gave me a big, huge Chevy Tahoe. Nice. But 2-wheel drive. Well, 2-wheel drive on the app. Normally you're able to change your vehicle. For whatever reason, they've changed the app. They've taken that away. So wasn't able to change it. It'll be right. Check the weather. It's not going to snow till Thursday. It should be fine. But I thought I'll still try. Preferred Avis. Nobody there at 10:30 at night at Cleveland Airport. And there's about 20 people in line at the normal counter. So I said, screw it. It'll be fine. Blizzard. So it took me like 2 hours to make the last 2 hours to get to where the hotel, which normally only takes me like 50 minutes. So that sucked. And my windshield wipers are fucked. The passenger one completely tore off, and the bloody driver's side one's barely hanging on. What do you do? Call up Avis, take the car back? It's 5 miles away. Struggles. First world struggles. Sitting here drinking a $300 bottle in my hotel room. I wasn't going to open it, but I don't have any video for Thursday. I was going to do maybe some bourbon hunting. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. Anyway, cheers everyone, and thanks for watching. See you next time.